Let's get into things that are actually interesting for this season, which is a preseason top 10. Now, I know that we've seen, some games in week 0, but here we go. Let's get into it now as we're really entering into the beginning of the college football season. These are the top 10 teams as I see them going into the year. Let's start with number 1, and number 1 I think should be an obvious one to everybody. I don't understand why people wouldn't put this team number 1, and that's Georgia. Georgia's the 2-time defending national champion. They are on an incredible run at this point. The only game that they've lost in the last 2 years was to a loaded Alabama team that, by the way, had all their wide receivers that day. So, Georgia is a team that has to be beaten. Right? I'm not going to not put them number 1 just because I think maybe somebody else might win in the SEC, which I actually don't think is the case. Georgia's number 1, and they deserve to be number 1. Kirby Smart is building something that is very special. They're trying to become the first team to three-peat since the 30s, all the way back when Minnesota did it. And, I mean, who knows? It hasn't been done. Modern college football, what they're doing has never been done, or at least what they're trying to do. Teams have gotten close. Teams have gotten very close, but they will be trying for a three-peat here this year. Number 2, I've got Michigan. Now, I debated between 3 teams here, Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama. I landed on Michigan in mostly because what they have returning on this roster suggests that it's going to be Michigan's best team under Jim Harbaugh. This is a team that has just won back-to-back Big Ten titles. They've been in the playoff each of the last 2 years, and now they're returning a very good, deep offensive line that got some transfer help as well. Both of their running backs in the backfield. Their quarterback is back. Their defense is loaded. This is going to be an excellent team. There's no doubt about it. I really believe that this could be Jim Harbaugh's best team in Ann Arbor. Now, at number 3, I've got the team that they have beaten each of the last 2 years, and that's Ohio State. This Ohio State team basically has one question, and that is, can they replace C.J. Stroud at quarterback? They are loaded everywhere on this team. C.J. Stroud, he's gone. He's with the Texans now. Who's the quarterback? We wait and see, but they have an amazing roster. They should be better running the football. They can throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr., and the defense has gotten much better as well, in particular on the defensive line, which they need to get better on the defensive line. At number 4, I've got Alabama. Nick Saban is still Nick Saban, folks. It's not like they're going anywhere. Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach in the history of the sport. Now, they also have quarterback questions, and I think that they actually have more questions than Ohio State at that position because they had to go get Tyler Buckner, a transfer out of the transfer portal after spring ball. So Nick Saban is going to be trying to rebuild that offense with new offensive coordinator Tommy Rees and a new quarterback. Maybe it's Jalen Milroe, maybe it's Tyler Buckner. We don't know, but it's still Alabama. They still have recruited at the top end of the sport. That's one of the best rosters in the sport. They're number 4. At number 5, I've got Penn State. How about that? 3 Big Ten East teams there in the top 5. I really like what Penn State has returning. I like Drew Aller, their young quarterback. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. They're good on the offensive line. Olu Fashanu could have been the first offensive tackle taken in last year's draft. He came back. They've got both of their running backs back. They've got speed, length, and athleticism on every level of their defense, including at pass rusher with Chop Robinson. I'm a big fan of Penn State. Their only losses were to Michigan and Ohio State a year ago. So this is a year. Can they knock down that door of Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten East? At 6, a bit of a surprise team, but I like Washington here at 6. Washington has a great quarterback, Heisman dark horse, and Michael Penix. Great core of wide receivers led by Rome Odunze. And this is a team that I think could win the Pac-12. You look at their schedule, you look at what they have returning, you look at their head coach, Kalen DeBoer. That's a really good football team. They were close last year to being in that Pac-12 championship game and potentially going to the Rose Bowl. And I think that they will have a great chance this year as well. At number 7, I've got LSU. LSU is second year now for Brian Kelly. Their quarterback is back. They loaded up in the transfer portal. They've got a great opening week matchup against Florida State. I believe they win that game. They're number 7. I really like LSU this year. Number 8, I've got USC. We've already seen them play. Hey, guess what? Offense, really good. Zachariah Branch, this true freshman, I think he's the most explosive and exciting young player in college football. Watching him play was absolutely incredible. they still have Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, which means that even if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to play incredible defense or you're going to have to outscore them, which is hard to do. Let's just say it. It's hard to do. Caleb Williams trying to become a back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner, first since Archie Griffin. Can he do it? I'm not sure. I mean, in our society and in particular in Heisman voting circles, Heisman voters typically love to hate the favorite. He's certainly the favorite, but they're going to put up some monster numbers. I've got questions about their defense. Even from what I saw against San Jose State, there were glimpses of something that was going to be better and improved. There were also glimpses of a defense that was too aggressive and ran themselves out of plays and gave up too many points because of that. So that's a bit of a wait and see with USC. But that Pac-12, man, USC, Washington in there in the top 10. At number 9 and 10, I'm going both ACC here. I'm going to go Clemson ahead of Florida State, who's going to be number 10. And they go together kind of. Why? Because, well, I think Clemson is going to continue to own the ACC. They get Garrett Riley as their offensive coordinator. You pair him up with Cade Klubnik, their quarterback. You pair him up with Shipley, their running back, and that offense, which was the only question I had for Clemson coming into the season, is going to be much better. I can't wait to see them play. I think that they're going to be really good. And while Florida State, I like the hype. I get it. I like Jordan Travis. They're still not Clemson to me. And so that's why they fall at number 10. Really like them, but I don't think they're going to beat Clemson. I don't think they're going to beat LSU. And because of that, they fall to number 10.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.